as we come upon the beginning of the NHL's real silly season, maybe even more so than the trade deadline, might be a good time to remind everyone that one of the things that a lot of teams really covet, your team has in spades. Good morning to you. Good Thursday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates in the same place that you found this. The NHL draft is tomorrow night. The Penguins, at least at the moment, are picking at numbers 11 and 12. It's going to be a franchise-changing kind of night, one would think. Although the franchise changing isn't about to stop there. All it takes is one look at this roster, at the players' ages, at the contract commitments, to see that the most is yet to come. Let me start with the ending here. The Penguins, as you and I are communicating here, have $22.9 million in projected cap space. Yes, I'm talking about the Penguins. And that's with 18 skaters and 2 goaltenders under contract. So it's not like it's a partial list. And even if you look over their restricted free agents, you're not going to see guys who would cost very much. Connor Dewar is not going to cost much. Phil Tomasino. Vasily Ponomarev is already gone. He just signed for 3 years in the KHL. Those are the forwards. The 2 defensemen are P.O. Joseph. Not going to cost much. Not going to cost anything, really. Connor Timmins, who I think that the Penguins will make an effort to keep, also not going to cost much. Now, that's not to say they're not going to sign somebody else. They got to get left-handed defensemen somewhere. But that's a lot of cap space, and that's a lot of absorption you can take from other teams if they want to move some really super expensive guy and hand you a prospect or draft picks in return. Think about the Kevin Hayes trade. Or, and here's the nutty part, you can go and get some good players. You can do that, and you can do it without hurting anything about your current process. Especially if, as Kyle Dubas has somewhat suggested in recent weeks, the free agent that you sign is someone who's younger and who would fit more with the age group that they're attempting to achieve. In turn, that ups not only your talent level, but also, your potential. But wait, as the used car salesman will say, because there's more. In the 2026-27 season, depending on how things play out with certain prominent players, you'll also have Yevgeny Malkin's $6.1 million off the books. You will have Hayes' $3.6 million off the books. Danton Heinen's $2.3, Nola Chari's $2, Blake Lazat's $1.9, and Alex Nedeljkovic's $2.5. It's essentially half the roster or more flipping on its head. And in all likelihood, the players coming in to take those spots, a lot like the players who'd be coming in to take these spots, are going to be children. They're going to be on entry-level deals. They're going to be making at or close to NHL minimum. And I bring this up today partly to demonstrate the scope of the assets that Dubas has, partly to demonstrate that the team is nowhere near as hamstrung by some of these older existing contracts as people seem to perceive. To put that in more human terms, you're paying Gino $6 million to be a second-line center this coming season. You're getting a hell of a deal, and he's hardly preventing you from doing anything else. Important stuff. Hard to picture right now, but it's right there at Dubas' fingertips if and when he decides to make these moves. Now, I get that some of this stuff is a lot easier to process once it occurs. That's human nature. I'm not any different in that regard. I'll have an attitude about this team that won't be anywhere near similar to what it is right now once some of this begins, really in earnest this summer. But that said, can I just get this out of my system here? And don't take it personally if you happen to feel this way. The negativity around this, I don't get it. I really don't. every time I do one of these shows that points out that the Penguins have this plan or that plan, or that they're modeling after this team or that team in a certain way to a certain degree, or even just that they have the capability, like what I'm describing today, to make certain types of moves that could prevent this from being some sort of extended nosedive, man, you'd swear from some of the reaction that I see, hear, and read that I'm spitting on people or something. Everything is terrible. Everything's going to be terrible. There's only one path, and that's to lose 83 games next season. The only way is to completely throw games, tank to the extreme, get rid of everybody over 23. I mean, the hockey world isn't condensed to Pittsburgh. There are other examples out there of how to build rosters, how to build organizations. Not everything has to follow the Mario/Sid path. Let it go already. It's okay to look around at more modern examples. Every time I mention Washington, too, boy, everybody comes biting my head off. That's not what the Capitals did. Of course what the Capitals did was multi-layered. Of course it didn't happen overnight. And just as certainly, there are positives that can be plucked from what they've done. Just chill a little bit is all I'm saying. This is a real plan. This is a real thing, and it's really workable. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean it's going to succeed. The execution matters more than anything. But I'll take this at this stage. When we come back, J1Q. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online, your number one source for all your summer sports needs this season, from Major League Baseball, golf, NHL, NBA playoffs. Get the latest odds and lines, including all team matchups, player props, odds on just about everything that's out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Today's J1Q is going to offer one of those examples that I just cited in the opening segment. It comes from Ryan. He says, why are we considering blowing things up to be the dumb or stupid path? Next year, Sidney Crosby will be 38. Evgeny Malkin will be 39. In this scenario, let's say Sid plays 2 more years or 2 more at his current pace. The Penguins will 100% need to find a new second-line center while also needing a big revamp of the bottom 6 and a complete overhaul of the defense, as currently our best left-handed defenseman under contract is Ryan Shea, or maybe P.O. Joseph and Ryan Graves, and that isn't even mentioning our goaltending problem. The current best team in the NHL are the Panthers, and if anyone thinks that the Penguins are close or within a 1 or 2 year window away from being as good or better than Florida, you are insane. The plan that Kyle Dubas has talked about is that he wants to return the team to contending ASAP. The fastest way to do that is rebuilding. See, this is what I'm talking about, where it's just relentlessly and willfully skewing on the negative. This is not, Ryan's not an outlier here. Ryan is very much representative of what I'm receiving. And he'll take this stance to the extreme that he'll mention every left-handed defenseman except Owen Pickering, a first-round pick, who's going to be a big part of this hockey team this coming winter. So much of this is just perception or misperception. Dear God, Sid is old and Gino is old. Therefore, the team is old. It's not. It's not. This rebuild that you want has in large part already happened. It's just happened in ways that aren't as visible or as completed as the great big universal tank and then winning the lottery and drafting Connor McDavid. You trade Marcus Pettersson and Drew O'Connor. You get a first-round pick back. None of that's showing right now, so it's all doom and gloom. Wait until that's an actual player tomorrow night. Wait until the other pick is an actual player tomorrow night. Wait until Ville Koivunen's here making those passes that everybody loved in the last 10 games. Wait until he's here, and Rutger McGroarty's here, and Tristan Brose is here, and Harrison Brunick is here, and your goaltending problem, to borrow your terminology, is here in the form of Sergei Murashov and or Yoel Blomqvist. My point, in the most broad sense possible, is that a lot of this has already happened. The stage has been set. So when I say things like taking it further would be dumb or stupid, I'm not referring to trading or parting ways eventually with Kevin Hayes, Noel Acciari, Dan Heinen, or whoever. I'm talking about two players. I'm talking about Brian Rust and Ricard Raquel, both of whom are signed to excellent contracts, both of whom can make a significant difference, both in terms of overall team performance and team development, and neither of whom needs to go anywhere for any reason. Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. There's a long way to go between now and Florida, okay? I'm not an idiot. But I'm also a believer that that long way is already within the Penguins' control, meaning they have the means to do it. They can utilize all these picks they already have. They can utilize the prospects that they already have. And let's not forget, they can utilize this enormous cap space that they've got and that they've got coming. You say we will 100% need to find a new second-line center. Well, where do you think that's coming from, man? Where do you think the new second-line center is coming from? Seriously, be real here. You don't think it's coming through the draft. You don't think they're putting a second-line center in Pittsburgh like this at age 18 or 19. No, it's going to be a free agent. And it's going to be a prominent, expensive free agent. Why? Because they can afford it. There's nothing to gain for anybody through this time period in pouting and slamming doors. This is where they are. For whatever reason, wishing for it to be worse is just weird. I do appreciate the question. I appreciate that you listen to the program, Ryan. I appreciate everybody who listens to Daily Shot of Penguins. We're going to be back with another one of these tomorrow in advance of the NHL draft.